Hey everyone, Erin Green here, registered dietitian and professional triathlete. And today I wanted to share a couple recipes that I go to help fuel my training and my racing. So the first one we're going to start with is a frittata. And if you haven't heard of a frittata, it's just a very basic egg dish that you start on the stove, finish in the oven, and it's a great way to incorporate vegetables. We're going to use a lot of vegetables today. I have a variety here, and the best thing about this is it's customizable. You can use leftover already cooked vegetables, maybe some grilled veggies that you didn't finish up for dinner, or you can kind of mix and match to see whatever your family likes. The first step for a frittata is to prepare the egg mixture. So I have an entire dozen eggs. Now you can scale this recipe if you're not going to make a large frittata. But the best thing about this is it's great for leftovers that can be transported for lunch. It can be reheated really nicely without compromising flavor and texture. So I'm going to make a full frittata recipe using a dozen eggs. So we're going to whisk our eggs just until they're combined. You want all of the yolks broken, but you don't want it completely whipped together. We're going to add a 1/4 cup of whole milk. And yes, you do want to use the whole milk or a full-fat dairy product for this. It makes a big difference with the texture. Okay, now we're gonna add some spices to this. If your family is just kind of a plain Jane type of family, you can just start using this as your mixture, but I like spicing it up a little bit. So we're going to add some garlic powder, some dill weed, smoked paprika, just a dash of ground cumin, doesn't take a lot, and then red pepper flakes if you like a little heat like I do, and then salt and pepper to taste. Our egg mixture is ready. We'll set it aside and we'll start working on the veggies. So the next step is going to be preparing the veggies, and I'm going to heat some oil, probably over medium to medium low. You don't want the pan too hot because when you add the eggs you want it to cook slowly, because overcooking the frittata is probably one of the easiest ways to ruin it. So we're going to heat probably like 2 tablespoons of oil, and while that's heating I'm just going to do a quick chop of the shallot we have here. I had about 3 cups of greens here to start with. You can use more or less depending on your preference. We're going to add some Parmesan cheese, just freshly grated. It really doesn't take a lot with a strong cheese like this, but you'll get a really nice salty, kind of nutty flavor. Then we're going to add a little more of this close to the end of the cooking time on top of the frittata. So you can give it just a very gentle stir to kind of make sure the vegetables are all down into the egg mixture and it's all incorporated. You don't really want to scrape the bottom because the egg is going to start setting up. You can start to see around the edge how it's, like if you move it, you can see the edges are starting to kind of stick. So you know it's getting close. Okay, I'm seeing some of the little pieces of white of the egg is starting to turn white, so I think that it's ready to go in the oven. And then the baking can take anywhere from 7 to 14 minutes. It's quite a wide range. It kind of depends on your oven and depends on the doneness of the frittata. I will watch it very closely. I'll kind of check on it probably around that 7-minute mark, and then every minute after, just to see, kind of test it, and I'll show you how to kind of jiggle the pan and see if it's done. So the center is still, you can see it's just a little bit liquidy in the center there. We are going to set this on a cooling rack, let it cool, and then cut and serve. Okay, so you can see as I'm cutting into it here that it's just a little bit liquidy in the middle. You actually want it that way because it will set up nicely, and that makes it a little more appealing for reheating for leftovers. So a lot of people picture eggs just being a breakfast food, but I actually really like having this maybe in the evening for dinner after a hard workout. It's going to take me longer probably to prepare a full meal versus take some leftover veggies, some eggs, throw it in a pan, have it on the table in 20 minutes, and it's some quick and very nutritious refueling after a workout.